Want to see Gribbly turn his camera on so we can watch him drink his fancy tea. Oh yeah, when is the actual Rec Room birthday date that we celebrate?
Did it not pass?
Isn't it early June? Someone just said
I think
happy
so.
my birthday.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think it just passed though.
That sounds right to me. I think that's the ship date, the initial date we shipped to. I think the company start date was like a few months earlier. Nick would know.
Company start date was probably in like February, maybe March.
Okay. And then early June was like the Steam launch date.
Yeah, I don't know the first time Gribbly posted on Reddit. I think we had it behind as just like a private Steam build for maybe a month or so.
Oh, nice. Cool. Give it a few more minutes to let people come in. I didn't do an everyone ping, so it'll just be the people that RSVP'd. Okay, starting to see more people coming in as we get closer to the actual time.
I just scrolled all the way back on Steam. Our first Steam announcement was June 30th, 2016.
Oh, okay. So it's late June. I guess it is coming up pretty close. So yeah, this will be the 9 years. That's wild. Does it feel like 9 years?
10.
Yeah. How many years does it feel like, Gribbly?
Oh, it only feels like 16, 17.
But also 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can start to kick things off. Do our standard notice that we record these. I know other community members have been recording them, especially Brigadier. Very much appreciated when they record and post those, so shout out. Unless anyone has an announcement they want to do up front, we can just go down the top questions from the creator forums.
My only announcement is I got to drop at 3:30. I always forget to say when I have a second thing, but I'm remembering this week.
Okay, cool. Anybody else have anything up front they want to announce or talk about? Cool. Alrighty. We can start going down these questions then. I think everyone knows the deal now, but the way we run these AMAs is we post a thread in the creator forums maybe about a week before, and we say, upvote, post and upvote your most, the questions you want us to answer the most. I think we pulled maybe like 11 from this week, it looks like. So we're just going to go down those. The first one we got, or the first set of questions we got, there were kind of like 3 around this, whereas on the AIRS, the kind of the Invention moderation system. And to summarize these, I think the question people have is, what is the plan for how to deal with kind of like false positives on this system? So if the AIRS system detects an invention and there's actually nothing wrong with it, what is kind of the process for communicating with Rec Room about that and resolving it? And I think there was some specific people had an issue with it bringing down the whole room rather than just removing that invention. So I think Chase was actually going to speak to this one.
Yeah, I'm happy to speak to this. First, we heard your feedback about the replies you get when appealing errors actions through Zendesk, and you were right. The messages that we were sending didn't give enough helpful info. That is on us. Our team is meeting tomorrow to fix that. We want to make sure that when you appeal an errors action, you actually get a reply that explains what happened and why. That's something that's very easy for us to fix. But we're trying to find the right balance. We want to make sure that we're giving you fast replies and trying to get to and help as many players as possible, but also make sure that our replies are informative. So we want you to feel heard and understand why something got flagged. So starting next week, expect those appeal replies to be more useful. We also know that it can be super frustrating when something does get flagged by mistake. You might see creators posting about false detections and think it happens all the time. But the truth is we've removed over 100,000 harmful inventions using errors, and we've seen a very small amount of false detections. This is a very small amount of people have come to us in Zendesk, and we've seen a very small number of posts on Discord compared to the 100,000 number. So there's a very small number of people who are actually experiencing false detections. We've also scanned over 5 million inventions, and so over 98% of inventions that were scanned were not flagged by errors at all. So most of our players and creators are completely unaffected from this system. But that said, even if false detections are rare, we know it sucks when it happens to you. So we are looking for ways to make the whole process better. And I think the first step is to improve the appeal process in Zendesk, and we should be able to move pretty quickly on that. I think it was a question about, or one of these questions was about layering in human moderation as well. I think that's a very fair question. There's a ton of content created every day in Rec Room, way too much for our human moderation team to check everything manually. So that's why we rely on these automated systems like errors to help us. But we do have humans reviewing errors appeals. Also, if an invention is used in more than 50 rooms, we automatically flag it for a human mod to double check before taking action. So that was something that we changed with errors based on the feedback that we got from y'all. So we do layer in some human moderation where we can. And I know I've chatted with some of you in Discord about errors as well. Like as I see questions about it in the Rec Room Discord server, I tend to jump in, and I'm always happy to be an ear for you and answer any questions that you might have.
Hey Chase, could you explain to people if they are sending in a Zendesk appeal, like a Zendesk ticket for appeal, do they need to do anything to make sure that gets seen by the human moderator? Do they need to reply to the email? Can you explain what they need to do exactly to make sure?
If they're submitting through the moderation and conduct form and you go in and you say that you're appealing an invention restriction, let's say, you should, if you get a reply back that seems automated or is very immediate, and it will typically say like reply back, you can reply back to that ticket and it will appear for our team. But most of those, I believe for the errors or just any invention appeals, like all of those should be seen by our team. But if it's not, if you always reply back to the ticket, we can make sure that it's being seen by someone on our team. I'll double check that stuff though.
Awesome. Thank you so much for clarifying that, Chase. I know some players were running to an issue where they see a message. They're like, oh, they didn't respond to me. It's like, yeah, you got to respond to that email sometimes.
And if anyone has ever had like a custom avatar item flag, we have an in-game appeal system for that, which is a bit easier because you can do it all from within the game. I think we'd eventually like to have something like that for inventions just to make it easier for you all. But I don't have a timeline for you on that yet.
Sweet. Is there anything we want to say on the question specific to like why do we have to bring down a whole room versus can we just remove the invention? I don't know if there's any work being done there.
I think it's pretty complex to go in and like remove it, like the specific invention from a room, and then like we would have to probably like save the room on top of that and do all of that without having anyone in the room. I think that's just gets very complicated. So the approach that we took was, if it was an invention that was in a past save, then we would go in and we would remove access to that specific save, but we wouldn't close the room if it wasn't in the current save. However, if it is in the current save, we do close the room. We know that can be disruptive, but if it is truly a bad invention, then we do want to close the room. However, if it is a false detection and you appeal it and we determine that it is, then we of course will reopen the room for you.
Gotcha. That makes sense. The three people I saw with questions on this were Sakona.
There's a good
Night.
Just real fast. There's a good suggestion on here. Would it be possible to make the last save before the offending invention was added? Making that one accessible might be nice.
Like restoring it, yeah. I think something like that. I think we definitely want to look at what we're doing with errors. It is doing a lot of great stuff. It is removing a lot of bad inventions, but we understand, like, even if there are a few false positives or false detections, we want to make it less disruptive or a better experience for you. So that is what we're going to think about some solutions for this.
Yeah, that is a cool idea. I was going to say, for the three people that had these questions, if they're here, feel free to raise your hand if you have a follow-up. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next one. I believe it was XWET, XWET, Pan Knight, and Sakona. So if any of you guys are here and you have follow-up, feel free to raise your hand. Otherwise, we'll go on to the next one. Next one is from Jeb Gaming. Can we get the whole stop flying when you drop the maker pen feature removed? I found it seriously infuriating when creating, and then there's a lot of detail here. I think this was something Gribbly was going to speak to, but I'm also just curious in the chat if people can post. Are people having trouble with, the new stop flying when you drop the maker pen thing? Is that annoying people? Do some people like it? I'm kind of curious what the crowd thinks on this one. And then Gribbly, you can...
Yeah, I can take this one. I think the short answer is yes, we can adjust this. So this was something that we did as part of the new Maker World template, where the goal, that template's very much aimed at making life easier for newer creators. And so we wanted to kind of like reduce confusion for them and kind of make things consistent. I can see how it's bothersome if that was part of your workflow. So I talked to the team about it today. We're always doing bits and pieces of work on the Maker Pen. So I think something that we can likely sneak in is we can add a setting, basically. So if you imagine a Maker Pen setting that says automatically stop flying when you unequip the Maker Pen, I think we can add that setting, default it to true, which would be the current /new behavior. And then anyone like Jeb Gaming or anyone else who's like, hey, I really don't like this behavior, it messes with my workflow, they can set that setting to false, and they would be back to the previous behavior. Would that address the concern? Because I think that's something we can do pretty easily. All right, I'm seeing yeses.
Yeah, if Jeb is here and he wants to come up on stage to reply, go ahead and raise your hand, but I didn't see him. Okay,
I'm seeing yes would be good. Okay, all right, we will look into doing that.
Sweet. Alrighty, number 3 from That Helpful Eagle. Why is Maker AI going so off the rails from its original plan? It was just supposed to be an assistant tool for newer creators, and it sounds like the rest of this is, now it's kind of like making circuits and doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm happy to answer this one if you want.
You go, Nick. I might have something to add, but you go.
Yeah. Okay, I think backing all the way up, here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make the creative tools better. AI or not, that's the goal, just better. And what does better mean? To me, it means probably one of two things. It's either more people can use the tools, they're easier, or it means the tools can produce higher quality output. I mean, ideally it would be both, but I think a lot of times those are in conflict. Easier means simple, fewer buttons, less control, less options. And then more powerful is normally the opposite, right? More options, more control. So it's hard to do both at the same time. And that was what excited us about Maker AI. From the beginning, we actually did see it as a way to achieve both goals. And that belief came probably from what we were seeing internally with our own use of AI. We were seeing tools like Claude and Cursor. They were letting, our designers who could not code, they were able to build, prototypes in Unity with code, even though they couldn't code. And then meanwhile, we were seeing our, very experienced devs using those same tools to offload a lot of drudgery and just be more efficient. Things like writing unit tests or tracking down bugs, looking at call stacks, doing a refactor. Like AI just made a lot of those tasks easier or invisible. And so that was what stood out to us with AI. Was it seemed like an opportunity to lower the floor for who could use the tools, and then raise the ceiling for what really skilled people could do with those same tools at the same time. Like, we just haven't seen much technology that's able to do both of those things. And so, I think, let me just tell you where we're seeing Maker AI right now, what it is doing out in the wild, and then I can talk a little bit about what we're planning to do next. So at least right now with what we're seeing with Maker AI, there's tens of thousands of people that come in and create every day, and the number of people that are using Maker AI, it's pretty small. It's like a single digit percentage of that group, and then most of them are what I would call early to mid tier creators. They're not brand new. They've probably tried creating over the years and bounced off, but now they're sticking around a little longer. They can go a little bit further. And I think things like Maker AI circuits is probably one of the things that helps the most. It's one of the things that a lot of people struggle to make any progress with, to go from 0 to 1 with. And now they're able to create something. The circuits graphs they're getting them are helping them learn. It's helping them get a little bit further in the system than they would otherwise. But for the most part, we're not seeing these early mid-tier creators. They're not publishing much yet. So what they're building is perhaps creatively satisfying for them, but not for the top tier folks right now. So nothing that would rank in the wild. But just to be clear, Maker AI has not removed anyone's need to learn circuits. It will help with some of the drudgery. It will help with some of the learning. But I think knowledge of circuits, just like knowledge of code, is still really important internally, even though we use AI coding tools. So look, what's next here? Again, this really has always been a goal for us of we want this to be useful for the top tier. We want this to make it more accessible for, newbies. And I think when we look at newbies, one of the things that is really challenging for them is just having an empty starting point. No one wants to open up a new room and see a blank Unity style void, but that's what we see in a lot of early rooms. And so we're just looking for ways that we can give them a better starting point, better setting, better terrain. Can we get you something? If you want your room to be on the moon or in a desert or in a forest, can we help facilitate that? We just want to make it easier for you to get something for that group. And I know a lot of the comments we see on this stuff basically boil down to don't make the tools easier for others, but that's just a really tough view for us to lock into. We will always look for a way to get more people creating, but that's not the only goal we have. We also have goals for the top tier creators, which I think is probably more who's represented here. For top tier creators, really what I think we're starting to look at now is these AI enabled chips. So these are circuit chips that will allow you to directly make a call to an external LLM. These will let you do things like, you could probably build something like Roomie in your room, at a powerful, alive feeling NPC. I think you could build a dungeon master to tell stories on the fly based on what your players are coming in and doing in your room. We'll even give you access to some of the Maker AI capabilities. So if you want to let users draw on a whiteboard and turn that thing into a 3D statue, you might be able to do that as well. These chips are really powerful. I think the things you're going to be able to do with these chips are really wild, and as soon as you get your hands on them, you'll be pretty wowed. You'll be able to build some things that I think will be really unique and would not be possible previously. We're still figuring out the business model on this. I mean, I think as with all things AI, each of the server calls is relatively expensive. But look, to just go back to what are we trying to do at the top, what the number one goal we have is we want our tools to be better. We want them to be more accessible, and we want them to be more powerful. And we think AI is a tactic for doing both of those things. So when you see something like Maker AI, it is not just for new users and that's it. That's not the only goal we have. We're really looking for better on both ends of the spectrum. We can get top tier creators building something better, we can make it easier for new creators to get something.
Sounds like a lot of people are very excited at the prospects of the AI chips and the questions. I saw a few questions around like how will payment work for that? Like how will the cost be covered?
So I can tell you what I want to do. I don't know how well this is going to work, but I think what we want to do is we want to basically provide those tools to you at cost. Like what we want to do is create some way for, look, if you want to use these tools, you can pay for it, and we will not try and take a profit margin on those. Like we would rather you just build a really engaging room. On the flip side, like we don't want you to build a room that's costing us like huge sums of money. So our goal is to try and set something up where the costs are pretty transparent to you. Like you can see, hey, this chip is costing X, and like, here's how you pay for that. But that's the goal right now, is that we're going to try and do that. I think we're still trying to figure that out. I think we're trying to figure out, can you pay for that in tokens? Can you pay for that in cash? Is there another chip that connects to it where you can ask a player who's in your room to pay with tokens, and that allows the AI chip to run? I think we're trying to figure that out.
Yep. Cool.
Maybe have it included with Requiem Plus. I don't think there will be enough margin in there. I think like if you make one of these rooms, and I mean, this is one of the things we're seeing with Roomie is like the cost of running that thing is high. So like if we were to just charge Requiem Plus for unlimited Roomie, like we would be losing, I don't know, Max, we would be losing a lot of money on that. Like,
yes,
it is very, very expensive.
Yeah.
We're not trying to like pull a lot of margin out of here. Like largely what we're trying to do is like what our costs are going to be the costs that y'all will have for these things. We just can't be selling $1 for 50 cents. Like I think that's what we're trying to avoid here.
Cool. Seems like a lot of excitement around that. I'll move us on to the next one. We can go back into the AI stuff later if people want in the open section. Next one is from Sab6D. On the Play Store for Rec Room, it shows Rec Room characters changing certain parts of the Buggy. Is that like a planned feature? This is the image we have where someone's like selecting a wheel, someone's selecting the engine. I think maybe Gribbly could speak to this.
Yeah. I could take this one. I want to actually group together question 4, which is this one, and question 5 from Jeremy in VR. Please add clamps to Rooms 2.0. So yeah, both of these things are on the roadmap, but not things we're currently working on. We just got much higher priorities. Like, so that image is like, showing aspirationally what we want to do with custom vehicles. But yeah, we don't have a team working on it right now. We don't have a time frame for when it's going to work.
Cool. Sorry, was that the same answer for clamps?
Same answer for clamps. Yeah. We're not against the feature. It is, it's on the roadmap, but no one's actively working on it.
Cool. And I think the use case they were mentioning for clamps was specifically for animations.
Yeah, and there might be some other. I don't want to go into it too much and like write checks we can't cash, but there might be some other work we're doing for some other features that end up providing very similar functionality in terms of clamping and unclamping things. But yes, let's round this one to a no.
Okay. Yeah,
Also,
I know we've been having.
In the spirit of not promising things, also there with animations and stuff in R2, there's some good opportunities I think that we have seen for if we tried to refactor or like do another version of what is currently the animation controller and produce like a proper hierarchical animation gizmo, something that we've thought through, but is not similarly, it's like not something we're actively working on. We've got higher priorities at the moment. But that's the kind of thing that I think would help with a lot of the use cases that got mentioned in that question.
Yeah, for sure. I know we've had a lot of discussions internally about animations in R2, but no work right now going towards those things. All right, number 6 is, so we have the CV2 chip where we can see player outfits and view a limited amount of tags set on an item worn. Would it be possible in the future to expand more on those tags or allow a configure option to select a specific item, whether it is UGC or the exact name of an item worn? This would be for Max, I would imagine.
Sorry, could you repeat that? I was looking at Slack.
So it's saying we have CV2 chips where you can see player outfit slots and view a limited number of tags. Would it be possible in the future to expand that to more tags or allow a configure option to select a specific item?
Yeah, this is something that has been on a roadmap for a bit, and it's a matter of priority. This is internally we called these catalyst items or reactive items some way so that you can actually add utility. If someone is wearing a helm, a cape, armor, some item, you can then have logic behavior against that. I think that there's a lot of power in that. Good to hear that people want that people would incorporate that in their creation. I think for us, it's a matter of we want to make sure there's enough Avatar Studio creators out there so there would be this nice synergy of like, hey, you can monetize well by creating some really amazing things that you could sell to your players and that you could then add utility to in your rooms. And so we're working towards a place where there's enough Avatar Studio creators that also could have relationships with top 100 room creators that are monetizing really well. So it is something we want to do. We're just kind of waiting for the win of that. So good to hear that's something you would want to use, and it remains on our roadmap but with an indefinite time frame of when we're going to do it.
Okay, cool. That was CEIBB. If they're here and have follow-up, feel free to raise your hand. Next person is Booyah600. With relation to the Rec Room Plus feature that allows users to create other clothes now, such as hoodies, shoes, etc., can you guys make it where we can modify the hats? I've sold a lot of my personal created ones, and the number one complaint I get from players is we can't modify the hats to whatever angle we think looks good. It seems like they're asking for the ability to modify the position of hats they're selling.
Is that they're looking to modify the position of how it shows up in a thumbnail?
I think they're asking to modify. Maybe that's it. Did people in the chat know if this is a request for modifying the hat position on the head, or is it adjusting the position?
So this is for the hat that you can use on the clothing customizer, that you want the ability to change the kind of position, whether it turns around full 360 or not.
Yeah, I think they're saying as it sits on the avatar's head, because I know you can do that for our hats, right? Is that not possible with the Avatar Studio hats?
No. In Avatar Studio, there is a way you have the same controls our internal artists do that kind of specify the range of movement for the hat. If Avatar Studio creators aren't able to work with that, that could be a bug, or just you're unaware of how that works. But right now, all the stuff we make comes from Avatar Studio the same way as our creators do. So if you're seeing a capability that we are using that you're not seeing, then that's just a bit of education. We need to teach you how to use some of those advanced settings.
Some people are saying no, the clothing customizer hats.
So the clothing customizer hat, it has a default set. It's just a baseball hat, so it has the baseball hat settings in it. So you should be able to adjust it just like any other hat. If they want to change, there is no way that they can actually change the way it looks in the thumbnail. If that's what they're asking for, that's a good note of something we can improve.
Okay. If Booyah600 is here and they want to clarify exactly what their question was, feel free to raise your hand. Or if you think you know exactly what they were asking, someone else can raise their hand. But I think this might be them. Invited him up. Hello.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, but this was your question, right?
Yeah, so I sold a lot of the hats, and the hair get inside the way, like the hair being the way of the hat. So like somebody got like a spiky hair, and when you put the hat on, it's like stuck in one place. You can't move it like how you can with the other hats. So I'm talking about like modifying, like adjusting the position of the hat.
Let me look into making sure that you can move it around just like any other hat. One thing that it might not be doing is there's this concept of helmet hair. Like every hat, you can specify whether it presses the hair down into a a hat mode, that might not be working with the clothing customizer hat. So it's a good note. I'll make sure that all the features that should be working with any baseball hat are working on that. So appreciate the note, and I'll follow up on that.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate y'all.
Great, thanks for your question. Someone's saying he means you can't change the position of the clothing customizer hats. There's only the delete option. You can't change the position of it. So it sounds like it might be what you were thinking, Max.
Yeah, then that's a bug. We need to fix that.
Cool, good call out. Next one is from Real Pedro. Any idea when premium R2 Inventions will be released? I personally have a few inventions of mine that I want to sell. However, I cannot due to this lack of premium R2 Inventions.
We don't have a timeline on this. For the time being, R2 Inventions are going to be free and open.
Okay. Yeah, I think Oddzilla did a post on this somewhere, one of our blogs, where we talked about how R2 Inventions were going to be free in the foreseeable future, just so we could see more usage and they could be more componentized for people. All right, next one is from Dino87569 with the Roomie robot recently released to the general player base, Rec Room Plus players, will we see the ability for people to make Roomie items and skins?
You want me to go, Max?
Yeah, you go for it, Nick.
Okay. I do believe we will eventually open up Roomie to have some UGC capabilities. That is a goal. I think in the near term, we don't want anybody creating things that are creating confusion with Roomie. Like, I think that we did see some items roll out into the store where it was sort of designed to look exactly like Roomie. It was named Roomie. I think it created some confusion and created some customer support requests for us of like, oh, I bought this thing in the store and it doesn't do what you're saying it does. So those kind of things we don't want, but I do think we will add the ability for some sort of UGC skinning or cosmetics. Yeah.
Sweet. People seem very excited to make.
I could see the baseball hat that we just put out there as a first proof of concept that you can put stuff on Roomie. That used Avatar Studio. So as I said, we're building all of our internal technology to create new type of cosmetics for Roomie, so that it would be pretty easy for us to give this over to our Avatar Studio creators.
Sweet. Another quick one for Gribbly before he has to leave from Marcello. Will Rec Room ever come up with a railway or navigation gadget that follows set paths? And then they describe wanting to create like a train that players can control the speed of.
Yeah. So yes, eventually, we want to do stuff like this. I mean, you can kind of use the Pathfinder in R2 to do some of this. That might be worth exploring depending on your use case. There's also the new move chip that might actually make, if you set that up to go from checkpoint to checkpoint, you might be able to do something a bit more like a train that is controllable by the player. But yeah, it's not what you're asking for, which is like, track with splines and, some nice convenience features for editing. So no timeline on that. It would be a Rooms 2 feature only if we did it, to answer that part of the question. But I would kind of group it with animation support, which is like, hey, on the roadmap, but not something we're currently focused on.
Cool.
And Sean, it's 3:30. I got to go, and I don't have a good answer for the next question anyway. So I'll just say, nice to see everybody. I got to drop. Bye all.
Cool. Thanks for making it. Next one is on Maker AI, so maybe Nick or someone else here can take it, but it's from Sab6D. Since Roomie and Maker AI support a lot of languages, will the alphabets of the other languages be supported? And they're talking about their native language is Georgian, and they were saying, like, I can't type in my native language to Roomie, I think is what they're saying.
Is that what they're looking for, a different keyboard for what's popping up?
Yes, I think I think they're saying
It looks like, based on the question, it looks like we don't have the font. So like we don't have glyphs for those characters.
Okay. That one I don't know specifically. I think there is a bit of a per platform challenge here where some of them have these alternative keyboards and some of them don't have support. And I think we don't support it if it's not supported everywhere. I'd have to look at that one. My guess is that that's not, it sounds like it's a trivial one to ask, but anytime you're adding new keyboards, I think it actually is a bigger lift than you might think.
Okay. Let's see. I think that's the end of the ones we had. Trunks, did you see any big upvoted stuff going by in the chat, or did anybody see something that we might have missed?
Yeah, there's been some. Nick's been doing a great job answering several of the questions and the things. But I got one for Chase here about airs. Nix is asking, this is more of a suggestion, really. It's like, I've gotten moderated by airs, but my invention name was keyboard smashed. Would an image show, he's asking, can you show an image or to see what the invention was instead of just providing the name?
Yeah, I think we would have to design something for this. I completely understand how it is a bit obscure, and I know that for Inventions as well. For Inventions, the names, if you don't give it a specific name, you sometimes just get a name that's like a bunch of numbers, like when you created it, like a timestamp, I think. So I can understand how that would be difficult, but we don't have any immediate plans to bring an image or show you an image of like what got flagged.
Okay.
Unfortunately. Also, like with Inventions, sometimes it's not just necessarily the thumbnail. It could be like you might have had a drawing that's part of the invention which got flagged, and sometimes inventions can have 20 plus drawings attached to them. So there can be a lot of images.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying, and thank you for providing that answer. I've got one from for Nick coming up, a pretty general one about Roomie. It's, are you guys going to make it so we can stop people from spawning roomies in our rooms? This is from MMagic12.
Yes, I do believe that's coming soon. I'm pretty sure that work's already done. I just don't know if it's cooked in the main branch or go out. Max, do you happen to know? I know I've seen that work queued up.
I believe it is coming next week's ship.
Okay.
It's either, I need to confirm, I'm pretty sure it's next week's ship or it's the week after.
Sweet.
Awesome, thank you. We got a couple more questions that are kind of generalized. One is from Logi VR. They're asking, when are we going to be able to use the broadcasting system again?
I don't know if anyone's really been working on that. Normally we take a hard look at it leading up to RecCon. So I'm guessing somebody's probably looking at it right now and saying, can we use this to scale events heading into that or not? Last I looked, it's in decent shape, but I don't remember where we left off with it. I think we might have shut down usage of it because it was having a lot of bugs and we didn't have a dedicated team or person necessarily fixing those. So I'd have to go look into this unless somebody else knows where broadcasting stuff is at.
Last I heard... Oh, someone's got a real answer.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I would have said the same thing. It's I think if something's going to happen to it, it'll happen around RecCon.
Yeah, and as for now, it's the last I heard, it's completely defunct at the moment, taken apart, trying to get it working better. So even if you had the broadcasting permissions before, you can't use them.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. And we've got one very, very pertinent question here from GZYZ. When is the next R2 Bugfix update? They're very, very, they really want to know.
I mean, I think there's R2 bug fixes going out almost every ship. I would ask them what bug they're looking for us to fix in particular, and we could try to track down where that's at in the pipeline.
I think maybe it was more of a general question regarding if there is the prioritization of bug fixes over something else.
Yeah, I think I can't remember his Discord name, but the person doing a lot of the kind of R2 prioritization stuff gave a talk on this. It was either last AMA or the one before this, and basically we're prioritizing the biggest kind of R2 crashes and just this is totally going to ruin your creation experience in R2 stuff first. I know that we a few weeks ago got off an update that really was reducing the number of crashes we were seeing there, and I think people were reporting in the chat that they were seeing a little more stability in R2, which was nice. So I would tell people to expect major R2 stuff to be fixed, and if you've got like a little thing that's just impacting you and you're like, hey, this is super annoying, but I haven't seen anyone else hitting it, I would expect that to be, further out for us. But it never hurts to raise it in the creator forums. If you post your thing in the creator forum and it gets a lot of upvotes and comments, that's kind of how you get it on our radar, along with bringing it up at these. So it's a decent time to ask everyone here, like, what is your biggest R2 kind of like bug or pain point right now? And then we can look at chat and see what's getting, the most emoji reactions, and I can copy those down and bring it to that team. So if anyone has stuff, that's really annoying them or crashing them out of R2 or causing issues, feel free to put it in the chat and we can take that back to that team. Maker pin lag.
A most excellent answer there, Sean. Thank you so much. And yes, the forums are a great place for people to report those bugs. So there's the link for you. As far as questions from the chat, that's all I've got for now. I'll try to collect some more.
Okay. Yeah, we're just going to move into kind of like, free chat mode. So if people have questions for us, just drop them in the text chat. If people like questions, throw an emoji on it. That helps us prioritize stuff. I did see one from earlier that had a decent number of emojis on it. I don't really know why people are interested in this, but they are asking, do we have plans to upgrade Unity version to Unity 2023 or Unity 6?
We are looking at Unity 6, and I would say the work is pretty far along. I think people have been working on it for a pretty good amount of time. Man, I wish Unity upgrades were like press the button in Unity and then upgrade. Like, I can assure you that is not what it looks like. There's a couple challenges with Unity upgrades. Challenge number one is because we're on all the different platforms. Normally when Unity sets a new version of Unity as what they call LTS or long-term support, it's basically like they're saying it's ready to go. Oftentimes it will still not be ready for us because there will be lingering bugs on Switch or there will be lingering bugs on PlayStation. Like, until it's ready everywhere for everything, it's really hard for Rec Room to adopt the new version of Unity. So that's why you tend to see us lagging a bit when it comes to a new version of Unity. Typically, there are pretty nasty bugs that if we tried to jump on a new version of Unity early, it would like just not work on some platform. The other thing that you'll notice is, over the years when we have had really, really bad performance, like from one chip to the next, I almost guarantee you like the worst of those were a Unity upgrade. We just tend to exercise pretty much every part of Unity. And I guarantee you that if there's some bug across Unity, like one of you has found it with one of your rooms, like one of you will exploit some bug that's out there. And you'll notice like going from one chip to the next, like, oh, my room just does not work anymore. So generally Unity upgrades are things that we take relatively slowly, and it takes a long time for us to get there. But I believe the plan is to try and get to Unity 6 like relatively, like over the next couple months. It's been in the works for a while.
Okay. What does that unlock for players? Like, why would they be excited about this?
I actually don't know why players would be excited about it. I think the interpretation that most players have is like, oh, you just upgrade your engine and like automatically the game like will run better and smoother. I think very rarely is that true. I think upgrading your engine gives you the opportunity to have a better performance, but generally it's not the first upgrade that you do. So I think if we were to upgrade to Unity 6, my guess is like, hopefully you notice nothing from a performance perspective when we make that upgrade. But then over time, like it does give us some more tools to rein in performance. Maybe people are excited about something on the Rec Room Studio side where it's like, well, in Unity 6 you can do X, and like hopefully that comes to Rec Room Studio. I think there are things to perhaps be excited about over there, but I don't know the reason why people would be really excited about it.
Okay. Some more I pulled out of chat. When will the new allow other to affect you with consumables be fixed? When you have it off or on, it changes nothing. You aware of what this means, Max?
Sorry, I was just confirming the hat modify issue. Confirmed it is a bug, and we're going to fix it. Could you say that again?
Oh, that's good. When will the new feature allow other to affect with your consumables be fixed even when you have it on or off? It changes nothing.
When you use a consumable,
Did we add a setting that says allow other to affect you with consumables?
there is a way that you can kind of be affected by, say, the ego potion consumable, or it should be the case that creators can say turn off consumables in a room. It should also be the case where I'm not quite understanding the question. Is it that when it is turned off, it is not being respected and you're still being affected by the consumable?
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying.
Okay, that is something we will look into. But the idea is that, yeah, you should not, if you select that, you shouldn't be impacted by other people using consumables around you.
Cool. If somebody has a creator forum post for that one where you can go into more detail on it, that would be helpful. Or if people in chat want to go into detail, that was from FEM, F-E-M. Next one I had pulled out is from Dragon Rat Tiger. Would it be possible to sell UGC outfits, inventions, inventory items, etc. in discounted bundles? Example, Steam lets you sell your base game and any select DLC in a bundle, etc. I think that's probably for you, Max. You ever thought about bundles?
Bundles as in like buy a new map, buy a quest kind of DLC?
I think it's like my avatar items. I think this person has Avatar Studio, I think. So I think it's like if I make a bunch of avatar items, can I create a bundle offer where if you buy all 4 of them as an outfit, it's a discount?
We've talked about supporting outfit sets as a first class thing in our store where you can create relationships. We know it's a pain in the butt when you're like, hey, I love these 3 things. I have to go buy them individually. You can see how we added the shopping bag mechanic as a way so you could at least put a bunch into a shopping bag and hit buy once and go for that. But yeah, it has been on our roadmap to learn about, is there a value to saying here is a set of things just like we do with our Rec Room original things. For Avatar Studio folks, you should notice that there is a new program that we started where we are putting together these kind of purchase campaigns, these bundles, and we are offering bounty for that, offering a contract to say, hey, we love your set, we'd love to sell it as a bundle, as part of a season pass, or part of a promotion. So we are finding ways to march in that direction, but we haven't quite built the full feature set to support the ability for creators to put these outfit sets together and sell them. We're still learning about the value of this before we invest in a big new system.
Okay. Seen a lot of people dropping their Rec Rocks or RecCon headliner requests in. Some interesting artist names. Somebody asked, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question from, I think this one is good for Max. Jack S is wondering, will Avatar Studio be released to everyone now that AI moderation is helping expedite the process?
Yeah, we're not ready for that yet. The moderation systems that are in place have some holes in them. There's still a lot of things we're not testing for, and because we currently have a small batch of creators, there's still a lot of trust there. They know that if they do anything wildly inappropriate, that they will be removed from the program. And so we're still learning it. Like, we just put auto moderation out there. We're finding bugs. We just had a bug where for some reason it was seeing Princess Peach in a bunch of things that it shouldn't have. So we need to still learn how to improve the moderation system to eliminate false positives and to catch inappropriate stuff. So yeah, we're not ready to go to just open the floodgates here. We still want to add batch over batch of Avatar Studio creators. We want this initial group to be highly trusted. We want to make sure they're making great stuff that people want. So yeah, we're not quite ready to open this up in the same capacity as Rec Room Studio. There's still work we need to do in order to make sure our systems are hardened. We're still relying on a lot of our creators to just follow the rules we have asked them to follow, but we don't have a lot of hard checks on all the edge cases.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I've got another avatars question from Molly May. What are the guidelines with recreating limited items using UGC?
Don't do it.
But yeah, there is a list. There's
Like-
a list where we are very explicit by saying these are first party exclusive items. Do not copy these. These are that would be considered an IP infringement.
Some people have gotten through that and we will take action on them.
Cool. That's an easy answer. Don't do it to yourself.
Thank you.
Do you have any more, Trunks, before I pull
That's
some that I saw? Okay. This one I'm going to have to parse a little. Will the R2 Maker Pen tearaway mode be fixed anytime soon? It usually occurs when you save the room and then your Maker Pen is permanently bugged until you go to your dorm room and back to the room. This is a reason why I don't use R2 as much as I'd like to. So I think they're just saying the Maker Pen gets into a non-functional state where you can't drop it. Is that what you're describing? This is.
I assume by tearaway mode that sounds like relating to the fact that in well, I guess you can do it in screens too, but you can tear away menus from the Maker Pen menu and like pin them in world space. If it's getting stuck like that, that sounds like a bug happening somewhere. Probably something throwing an exception during, guessing, room save or room load that just like puts your Maker Pen in a bad state.
Okay, that was from Minty is Goofy. So Minty, if you want to send me more details on that in a DM, exactly what's happening, or especially a video would be super helpful. Or if you've got a creator forum post for it, drop that in the chat as a link. But yeah, just get us more info on that and we can look into it. Someone else had a question around Roomie moderation. Roomie saying some messed up stuff. How are we thinking about that? How are we going to prevent Roomie from getting too wild?
We are working pretty directly with OpenAI on that. I think there are, for those of you that aren't aware, like what we're currently using is one of their models. There are some things that we can do on the trust and safety side. There are some things that we want to improve on the trust and safety side. Some things we need them to change. Some things we can change on our end. I think the thing that I would tell each of you is, like, as we do see people intentionally trying to get Roomie to say things that they know they should not, like, we do comb through that, and there are bans and consequences that are being laid down for those. So you might be able to get away with it for a couple days, but like you might get a follow-up ban. So I would not do it. But we are looking at plugging those gaps.
Cool. Carthage was clarifying in chat that question earlier was about allow others to affect you with consumables setting in the settings experience menu. Okay.
Yeah, just so you have it for your notes.
Let's see here. What else did we have? When will the share screen be in rooms 2? Due to rooms 2 specific classes, when will the share screen be added? So yeah, I know a lot of teachers have been requesting the share screen in rooms 2, and I think we passed that on to that team, and I believe it's on their roadmap. Maybe Trunks, do you know what if we have any timing on that, or is it kind of still on their backlog?
I believe it's still kind of a backlog kind of thing. I know a lot of players really want it. Even the ones in room 1s are still having that error where it's just a white screen. No one can see what's on it, so it's not very effective at sharing at the moment. A lot of demand for that, though. Put it on the forums if you haven't already, and if it is up there, upvote it so that it can get high visibility.
Yeah, if people have a share screen in R2 post, put that in the chat, and then everyone can pile in there and leave a comment on what your use case is. I'm betting it's a lot of teachers that would like to be using it to share in kind of learning material stuff. I know that was a big one, but the R2 team is aware that that's high on the list. And last time I talked to them, they acknowledged that they'd like to get to that one at some point. All right. This wasn't really a question, but somebody just said we need more clothing items for the clothing customizer. So I'm kind of curious to poll the room, what clothing items are people looking for that are not currently in the clothing customizer? And I don't know if Max wants to like tease anything there.
No, it's just more we've been wanting to give more base items for a while, and I'm excited. It's cool to see people making new hats, pants, shoes, and hoodies. It's great to hear what else would you want. We want to learn. We want to put them out there. We've heard a lot of people want them. We want to understand what that could mean for more people signing up for Rec Room Plus, how that could lead to better economy by adding more to the marketplace. So we're still learning here. So it's good to hear what this list is, but we don't have anything planned on our roadmap to add more. We're still learning the value of adding this for creators. So I love to see people are enthusiastic about it. They're loving it. Would love to put together a list of what a round 2 would look like, but we don't have anything on our roadmap to add more until we learn about the impact to our revenue. We put this out there because we know it's something our Rec Room Plus players love. It could bring them back, and it would add more things for other people to buy for tokens. So still learning before we're ready to say we're going to do a round 2.
Cool. I see belts, wrist items, skirts, gloves, tank tops, suit vest, and top hat.
I guess the question for the question for chat would be would you rather have roomie customizations or would you have more clothing? We need to make some trade-offs in terms of our priorities, and right now we're excited to add more customization options for roomie as a higher priority.
Interesting. So vote for roomie items or more clothing customizer items in the chat.
Votes for clothing.
Are there?
I think the
any
thing you get
plans-
with clothing is there's more people, as everybody in here has noted, more people. The one thing that you do get with Roomie is like 100% of the Roomie users are paying users. So even though it's a smaller group, like they buy a lot more stuff.
Yeah. Saw a follow-up question. Are there plans for clothing customizer being moved to circuits?
How so? Like actually have it so clothing customizer is a thing you can pull out in any room as a prop?
I guess. I don't know. I think they're wanting some sort of circuits integration. I'm not sure exactly. This is from Puro 920 if they want to clarify in chat what they were asking for with circuits there.
I can at least say that, yeah, that it's not in our roadmap to do anything like that. I'd like to kind of more I understand what people are looking for in terms of the end product, and maybe there's a better solution here.
Okay. That was the last one I had from my copied over list. I'm kind of behind on chat. Anybody seeing any stuff you want to speak to or that you've answered in text that you want to put out in front of people that are just listening? Seeing all the clothing votes now. Bring dark mode to Rec Room. I guess we don't have a dark mode, do we?
I feel like there used to be one.
We almost had a dark mode. There was a dev only dark mode that only was half dark mode for a little while, and then it broke.
Gotcha.
I am seeing a lot of chat about Invasion. People want Invasion to come back. From a creator lens, I kind of like to understand what, I know it was a very popular event. I know people really loved it. Is from hearing from creators, you guys want to bring it back because you want to participate. You would love to make rooms specific to a theme. I can at least say that you're seeing that we are running these kind of themed events more. We are saying there's a theme, something is happening in Rec Room. We're changing our stores to match that theme. We are telling creators and room creators in advance this theme is coming up so that we'd like to promote their rooms. But I'd like to understand what people want in an Invasion 3 and how it is different from what we've been doing over the past few months.
The biggest thing I see from the chats, or at least when people talk about it, is the Invasions had a good way with the collectibles to get people into their rooms and looking at the rooms, because you had to collect certain amounts of these collectibles in different rooms in order to gain prizes. So it made people push into their rooms and get that traction.
Yeah, we're definitely talking about that. where the keepsake system, that stuff, the invasion, we think there is something there. And as we're involving the season pass concept, as we're running more of these themes, we are talking about resurrecting an ability for rooms to be involved in the XP you get to get more and more stuff on the season pass.
Okay, someone clarified their question. 1 year ago, Rec Room showed a new picture of new features for Storefront V2. What is happening with this? Does anyone know where any Storefront iteration work is at? I'm not aware of that.
Where was the image?
I don't think they posted the image. They're saying we showed an image. I guess that's a good question for, this is Rose Street 87. Rose, where did we share that image that might refresh people? It could have been Retcon. It could have been in an AMA, I guess. I've got to scroll down to catch up if somebody sees what they said.
I'm not sure if they're speaking specifically about a Rooms 2 storefront, but I know there was a bug recently with Rooms 1 storefront where as soon as another player joins the room, the storefront becomes blank. I know that we were tracking this bug internally and fixes were being implemented, but I'm not sure it's made it into the client yet.
Yeah, I remember seeing.
Sorry, Sean, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I remember sharing a. There is a creator forum thread on that. Like you load into the room and the storefront that the player has set up just appears empty. I think we worked with one creator in particular. Yeah, and we fixed it for their room, and I thought we rolled that fix out to everyone.
That should be fixed. If people are still seeing that issue, please let me know. That fix rolled out a while ago. I do think that maybe if people are talking about they want the storefront prop in R2 rooms, that's a good bit of feedback. Right now, it is not being worked on in terms of our R2 priorities. There's a lot you can do to build your own R2 storefronts, but it is good to hear feedback of people saying, no, I want the ease of setup of the UGC storefront in R2 rooms. It's on the roadmap. It has just been a much lower priority because we are seeing R2 rooms successfully monetize with their own storefront setups. There's just a lot of flexibility for R2 rooms to start from scratch with storefronts. So our thought was that you have all the circuitry and people can create their own.
Okay. Is that what people were talking about with Storefronts V2? You were just asking for storefronts in R2? Just so I can make sure we're...
Yeah, someone else is asking for it too. It's all mine is.
Yeah, the Storefront V2 or storefronts working in R2 has always just been a port thing. We haven't, we're not expecting to do anything new or different there. We just wanted to, we're still learning if it's worth the bang for buck to actually implement it. So hearing feedback from the community that you guys would use it to monetize your rooms better helps us prioritize.
Interesting. Some people are saying storefronts is in rooms too, and someone's saying it is, so I'm not sure where.
It could be that there's just it's not support, offers are not supported as well as keys, currencies, and consumable. I know there's been improved storefronts in R2 on a roadmap, and it has always been a lower priority than other props.
Oh, Will Chill chimed in saying Storefront V2 is in R2, V1 is not. Okay.
Then maybe I'm misunderstanding what people are asking for. Well, we should follow up.
Seems like Will Chill knows. If they want to come up and talk, they're welcome to, or they can put it in chat. Oh, there's Will.
Yeah, that's really all the context. If you go into Rooms 2 room, you'll find the storefront in there. I know a lot of people like making their own storefronts as well. The storefront V1 is not in Rooms 2, but I wouldn't expect that to be much of a problem. Like everything that the V1 can do, the V2 can do as well.
Okay, cool. I'm not sure what the complaint about the V2 is in that case. If anyone wants to clarify that in chat for us, let us know. But it seems like there is Storefront V2 in Rooms 2. Okay, we're a little over time actually, so I think we can wrap this up unless anybody saw any major questions that we missed in chat. Somebody has one with a lot of emojis. Will there be more campus-themed games? I assume this might be asking about like in the rec center, since we had our big talk recently about RROs, but I'm not really
I
sure.
think we're gonna continue to make games. Like we're building a bunch of stuff right now with the game AI chips, but I do think they're gonna look more like smaller scale. They're gonna be stuff that's in the rec center, or there's gonna be things that we link off of the rec center doors. I think ideally we can make more and more of them clonable, so that y'all can take them apart and use them. But we still build stuff. We're just trying to do a lot more with like the game AI chips and just make sure that they're battle tested before we roll them out to more.
Okay. I'll try to track down any more film contests. Maybe. You never know.
Since there might be a little bit of a video contest coming soon, hopefully.
Yeah. Who could say? Okay, seeing some wild speculation. Will these AI chips allow players to talk to a custom room AI?
I think the way that it works, it's going to be a collection of chips, and I believe the way that it will essentially be structured is it will allow you to open up a connection to an LLM. It will allow you to list out some custom prompts for that LLM. It will, and some of these are different. Some of these are not just text models. I think we will give you the ability to do text or voice or image or 3D asset. And then I think you can also do like a mixed modal input on it. So you can say, I want the user in the room to be able to talk to this thing or type to this thing or draw a picture on the whiteboard. And that's what's being submitted to the LLM. I think it'll be stuff like that. It'll be pretty flexible. Like you'll be able to, like if you go and look at the AI providers that you see out there right now and the endpoints and the various different models that they have, it will basically allow you to reach out to a lot of those things and get back responses in the same format that they send them.
Okay, cool. I'm seeing some other stuff, but it's nothing I can really speak to quickly, so I think we're going to wrap it up there. If people didn't get something answered and you can make a creator forum post on it, please do that and then DM it to me here on Discord. I can try to get you answers, or I'll at least be aware of it. But the creator forums is a great place to put all that stuff. Any Rec Room staff have anything they want to say before we close it out? All right. We can do our 3, 2, 1 clap. Actually, we don't really have a formal ending to these, so I'm going to count us down. We do this. I don't think we told anyone about this, but we do a internally some inside knowledge for you guys. When we end a meeting in Rec Room, a big meeting especially, we do a 3, 2, 1 and then a clap. So I'll count us down, and it's not on the 1, it's on the clap. So it's 3, 2, 1, and then you clap. Okay. So 3, 2, 1, clap.
Discord muted it. You can hear it. You can hear it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's how we end meetings. All right.
I like
Thanks
the
for showing up.
from the chat. It worked.
I'll post the video for this in the next few days. I think Brig was recording it, so thanks to Brig for recording, and thanks to everyone for showing up. Thanks for the questions. And yeah, for people that didn't get a question answered, make a creator forum post, send me the link, and then I can take a look at it from there. Alrighty. See y'all later.
I'm waiting just a minute because I know Corbin's is going to pop up here any second, and I'm waiting for him. No, he's not doing it this time. I'm waiting for him. I don't even think he's in here. Corbin's? Don't do it. Corbin's, don't do it. I see him in the chat. I see him. Corbin, don't do it. He's waiting. He's waiting until I leave, and then he's gonna hop up on the stage. Go have dinner. Are you buying me dinner? I'm gonna pop into the audience for 2 seconds. If he hops up on stage, I'll lose my mind.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh.
I'm muted. Hi! Get out of here!
What? What are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing?
What are you doing here?
What do you mean, what am I doing? Oh, there's Eden.
This is the
Corbin's!
This is the Corbin show now.
Now everyone wants up.
Listen, you know what? You get a chance to speak on stage. You get everyone gets a chance.
Oh,
We're
no,
not doing this again. We're not letting
except
everyone.
Corbin.
I'm not
Everyone except Corbin.
We're not doing the everyone thing again.
Because everyone gets a chance to be on stage.
Corbin's?
Did you spell? Okay, no. I'm trying to look at the request speak. Oh my god.
Would never.
22 people requesting to speak.
I am a law-abiding citizen.
There's so many people!
Guys, I love this Discord. I love this community, but we cannot have 70 people on the stage when Corbin's isn't even supposed to be up here.
Actually,
what about 27?
Actually, you know, Corbin's the rest of the audience.
I'm leaving.
Huh?
Your mom! Don't do that!
Corbin's, I'm gonna leave to the stage. I'm gonna leave the stage, okay?
I speak for the people. I speak for
Corbin's, get off the stage!
And the trees say, I don't want to be up here. Isn't that right, Seb?
Seb, your mic's muted, by the way.
He's in awe.
Poor Seb.
Oh, hi, Seb.
He's probably surprised why you're still up here.
Wow, I had so many interesting things to say, and I was muted the whole time.
No.
Oh, I can't say the cool, funny things now. But just trust me, they were good. They were going to be so good.
They were, and this is why we should kick Corbin's off the stage.
Actually, this time Eden gets kicked off.
Oh no! Wait, can I? Hang on, wait, am I able to do that?
Right click his name. Oh, look, I can ban him. See what happens.
Oh, I can! There he goes!
How could you?
All right,
And the goats.
I'm gonna go ahead and end the event.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop off. Well, I mean,
great AMA, guys. Sorry, we're not letting 70 people up here. Corbin's, end your
I
spiel
will
and
try
then
my best next time. Trust, your goat won't fail you.
I'm gonna pull sushi up here for a second. Because I love
I just want to say that Eden has been doing an amazing job at everything, and
We don't want to hear that.
wow, that's so...
Oh.
They were bettering me up. No.
Eden, you have been doing an amazing job, and we all should appreciate Eden.
Oh. Yeah, how about we do that? Let's work with that.
Guys, ping Eden in the chat and be like, "You're amazing, and I love you."
I love you. I love you guys. Please don't ping me. Please don't ping me.
Do not spam me. Do not spam me. Do not. They'd kick us off.
Came back. You know, I got a song. After this song, I will leave. My chest is hurting. My feet can't fall out of bed. I don't know where to go, so I'll lay here instead with my symptoms. Symptoms of sorrow and dread. They all said it would fade, but again and again. Sing with me, Tex. I love. I love.
Someone clip this for Corbin.
I love.
Your mic is peaking, dog.
Sing with me, everyone.
You're not audible anymore.
I love. Here, let me turn on the noise suppression. I love.
Wreck Rocks and Corbin's? Yeah, we need that.
Bro, I'll do the whole Wreck Rocks, just me. He doesn't even know we're here. On God, bro. She don't. She don't.
We're gonna give Corbin's an hour at Wreck Rocks.
Yes. Invasion 3, bro. Brody, I will try. I will try my hardest. Corbin's, yes! Alright, fine. I guess I'll let you guys go. But trust me, every AMA, little creator AMA we do, always be on the lookout for the best show for last.
Real quick, let's have a vote. Who says I should steal Corbin's wheels?
Who says I should disconnect Tex? Huh?
Well, I'm gonna.
Well, it was. Alright, I wasn't done yet. I was gonna say bye. Anyways, remember, guys, stay in school, drink milk. It's good for your bones. Yeah. And that's pretty much about it. Well, if I graduated school, well, go back to school. I don't think you delete channel. Wait a minute. wait. But yeah, guys. What's something DJ Motto would say? Let pumpkin up, bro. All right. Look, bro. Listen, I'm about to get off. All right. Trust, I'm about to get off. But all right. Just for a second, bro. Just for a second, Brody. Bro is not accepting the request. Okay, I go now. Bye bye.